Hey, welcome back to another episode from Life for Living Well. My name is Richard. And before I dive into another topic for this week, I quickly like to say one or two things. If you like to know one or two things about Life for Living Well community, you can check it out on our website at www.lifeforlivingwell.com. And if you do like to send your question over to us, you can also use our form, contact us form, and throw us your question to us. We will try as much as possible to get back as soon as we can. And if you do like to drop me an email, you can also reach me at hello@lifeonlivingwell.com. So let's dive into the topic I have for us this week. It's an exciting topic, but let's see how much we can do with it. So the topic I'm going to look at this week is what I call three signs you are ready for a major life change. So, how do you prepare yourself for major life change? And three signs that can show that you're actually more successful than you give yourself credit for. So, let's look at it and dive into it. Like I normally open the podcast, is to take one individual insight about the particular topic and expatiate it around their quotation. So this week I'm starting with Sir Winston Churchill, and so let's see what he says about this particular topic. So he put it this way: to improve is to change. To be perfect is to change often. So, when we talk about life-changing events, many of us can recall one or two significant experiences. However, are we truly prepared for them? It is clear that the majority of people are not fully ready for life-changing events, but they press on due to social influences. Just think about it. Think about that life change that you experienced in the past. Is it something you really prepare for? Can you really prepare for something like that? I don't know what you experienced in the past, but I know if you are living this world for a while, you might have suffered one setback or two, and you overcome those things. You pass through the stage, and probably form, shape, or put more confidence or take away your confidence. So whichever door you come out of that experience, you can look back as you listen to me, or you're probably in that situation right now. My word of encouragement for you is be strong. And let it flow like the river flow. So how does this experience change us? So how do we know that we are actually ready for a life change? And a life change event not necessarily have to be a negative one. It might actually be the one that we are celebrating and our family celebrating with us. But are we truly ready for it? We had the story of individual that won a lot of money through the lottery, and 3 years later they become very, very poor the way they were before they made this money. I didn't really prepare for large sum of money like that. because the money doesn't really change you. It expands who you already are. If you are not prepared for that more kind of money, prepare in the sense of educating yourself about money, setting your goals and priority clear, see how where you want to be in 5 or 10 years time. It is impossible to make anything good out of it. So what happens when people not necessarily ready for the change that happen in their life? So they experience tumors and pain are far too common in situations where we are not fully prepared for life-changing events. Someone that think they are a good person. So in their book, being a good person means that unpleasant thing cannot happen to them. They cannot fall sick if they don't take care of themselves. If they just being good according to their book, meaning that they follow their religion judiciously, or they being nice and loving to everyone, and they just thought that doing that alone will shield them away from life experiences. That's somebody that is not ready or prepared, because that's a level of innocence, naiveness, and lack of understanding and knowledge. So this event could include getting married, moving to a new home, having children, experiencing death, divorce, or loss of income. Any of these occurrences could easily lead a person to an unhealthy place. Seriously impacting their well-being. We've seen people that their life shattered because the trust they put in another person is being brutally betrayed and be taken away. We also see people that their setback have made them stronger, resilient. There was a Chinese philosopher that once said that we don't count how many times we fall, but how many times we arise from our falling. So it's before you arrive, you already fell, and you rose out of it. But you have people that their mindset is never to fall. So when they fall, it's really difficult for them to do whatever they have to do to rise from it. So these 3 things I wanted to mention in this podcast this week is just to bring encouragement into every one of us to realize that you're already doing right in your life. Perhaps you have not seen the result of the right thing you are doing in your life. But as you listen to this podcast this week, I want you to give you a confidence. Think that you can be assured that the path and the road you're already on is probably the right road that you are. And the more the door will open for you, the better your confidence will increase. So let's examine 3 signs that indicate you might be ready for a life-changing experience. Be warned, though, that no matter how prepared you think you are, you can still be confronted with anxiety, sadness, and even sickness when unpleasant life changes occur. And that is okay. You should not beat yourself down how weak or how volatile you are. This could happen to anyone. So let's look at the 3 signs that I put down, that once you are doing any of those 3, you should be fairly comfortable and confident that you are ready for success and you are ready for life-changing events. Life-changing event, as I said earlier, not necessarily means unpleasant things. It could be starting your own business. It could be travel alone rather than waiting until somebody comes to your life before you travel, even though you love to travel. It could be you want to buy a new home, but you have no idea how to start. So you begin to look into brochures, go to the agency, checking the agency window display or checking the website where they are the host of different houses they want to sell. You are ready to take a little bit more risk that you normally take. You no longer feel comfortable to be in a comfort zone. So these are the things that I'm trying to tackle this week. So number one, without further ado, so number one on my list is what I call you are open to change. Leo Tolstoy once stated, true life is lived when tiny changes occur. So that's what Leo said. So the only way you begin to live your life is when the tiny changes begin to occur in your life. And not many people are really open to change. They want things to be the same way that used to be because they are comfortable with it. Many people tend to do anything to avoid or prevent change if they can. However, embracing change with an open mind can lead us. So when we embracing the change with an open mind, so guess what happened? It definitely leads us to personal growth. And we may be able to look back at the things that we're so scared of doing and then realize that how stupid it is. Why we wasted our time on the path of what we think we know, but is so limited into what we know right now. So people who embrace change they are at peace with it, often display patience and calmness. When you spend time with somebody that's so peaceful and calm, one thing you will know about them, they embrace change. They don't longer have many things that many of us still afraid of. We pretend that we are in control of a lot of things. We are not. Understanding that everything will be okay, even if it is different from what it used to be. Some change will happen in our life that it will so change that we don't even realize or recognize things that we used to look up to. And it has no values to us anymore. So that takes me to number two. So number two on my list is you take responsibility for your past. This is very challenging for a lot of people. And many people, not a lot of people, many people don't like to be accountable for things because there is kind of emotions that we get from being victim. There's kind of emotion that we get when we feel like we are the victim of the circumstances. But in this kind of zone, it's really difficult to prepare ourselves for the kind of change that we want to make happen, even to consider being success. Many adults still blame their parents spouses, bosses, friends, politicians. You blame politicians for all kinds of things. You blame them for the kind of income we get every month, for the no doubt they contribute to it, but they don't control it. You also have a say what kind of incomes you want to make. So we blame politicians and others for their current unsatisfactory positions in life. However, reaching a point where you no longer blame others indicate that you have moved past the victim mentality and reclaim power over your life. So because when we engage in blaming everyone for situation, we are, let's imagine a man that being domestically abused, manipulative, emotionally torturing his partner. But the only thing he remembers is that his dad did the same thing for his mom. And he has the children and he didn't have the time for those children either. The only thing he remembers is that when he was a child, his father or his mother has never been there for him. So he carried a lot of resentment and anger into adult life. So he ended up married a woman that's similar to his mom, and he repeated the same record that is in his brain when he was a child becoming an adult, and he replayed the same role again in his adult. So tell me, how does that individual like that break away from the chain of from the past? Unless it's conscious, unless it brings unconscious to conscious, unless he's aware of his own actions, unless he takes responsibility for his own behavior now, not the behavior of his parents. But the best you think about it is that, oh, it's my parent. The reason why I'm behaving badly in all my relationships is because of my parents. I have no responsibility to take for it. I do not have to be accountable that I took the money that belonged to the family, for my children, for my wife, to pay the rent. I did not pay the rent in time. I used that money to enjoy myself with my friends. And I just come home having an excuse, having my wife or my partner to go and look for the money to pay for it. That kind of such a person is going to attract conflict, pains into his relationship, into his life. So what the kind of person do is to now go back to 30 years, 20 years, 50 years, how it all started. So there's something called when you get to stage 2, what begin to happen to you that you already reparenting yourself before you enter a relationship with another person. You're already aware the damage that you have been through, and you have done a lot of work to repair yourself. What the people do is to use substance to distract themselves from actual problem. So when you get to the third stage that I was talking about, that taking responsibility for our own past, not necessarily own or let go of the people that have caused the damage, is to let the damage that caused not have a hold on our life 20, 30 years later. And it's a lot of shit to get to this point, because I met few people in the adult that have a lot of angers that carry from 20, 30 years. They have a lot of resentment that still play in their life. And what's so sad is those anger they have within themselves is actually sabotaging their success, their progress in their current life. So you have gained the knowledge to understand people's intricacy, invested in learning, and acquire the skill to navigate the various choices available to you. In essence, you have learned how to truly live life. That takes us to the last point of the day. So the number 3 is you know how to navigate life chaos. Someone said life is beautiful. Life is beautiful and life is messy. So overall, life is chaos. Chaos not necessarily bad thing. It's not necessarily good thing. It's just an experience that contains good, messy. So there are many things in life that we have no control over. So what are those things? I can give you just few, but there's a load of them around you if you take your time to think about it. So what are the few things that I put down today? The color of our skin, you have no say about it. The direction of the wind, what others think or how they behave. But sadly, we still react to it. For those who have learned to manage and navigate life chaos, they can tap into their creativity and effectively handle boredom. So when we can do all these things, when we can flow or be in the realms of this third one, so guess what happens? Life itself can be messy, and our path may seem unique even among those with similar geographic locations, taste, aspiration, and goals. Lastly, in conclusion, if you demonstrate the 3 signs mentioned above, congratulations, you are indeed successful, and your potential for further success knows no bounds. As we progress in life, we often come to value good health more once we no longer have it or lose it suddenly. Don't let that happen to you. Someone once asked an elderly man, what is your biggest regret? He was rich. He was blessed with children. He has a successful business. He said, he looked up and wept and he said, I never create time to walk beside the bridge and beside my wife in the evening. Every time she asks, let's go for a walk, I will say, give me a moment, but I never create that moment for her. Now I have no leg, now I have no wife, and I could not do it. He didn't regret that he didn't make money because he made a lot. But the money cannot replace what is really more important to him, intimacy. It is important we acquire knowledge to always able to differentiate between what we need and what we want. And if we demonstrate these 3 things, qualities in our life, one thing's sure that mentally, emotionally, physically, we may be able to be ready for life changes, whether pleasant or not pleasant. My wish for you this week is to continue to experience pleasant life experience. And if you're currently in unpleasant life experience, my wish for you this week is to be able to come out of it better than who you are before it comes to your life. So it is essential to recognize that good health is a significant success itself. While pursuing your goals and ambitions, remember to take care of your health and well-being. As Abraham Lincoln once said, and in the end, it is not the years in your life that count. It is the quality of life in your years. I hope this message helps someone. Until we meet again next week, please stay safe and have a wonderful week. Ciao.